too. Was he saying all the magical elements?
The Latin?
Let's just say I'm not a fan of Latin. Here's why. We didn't have... Caitlin was the first person to actually try to get it historically accurate. But there are about 4 proper Latin pronunciations for any word. We finally had to... They found a language instructor from it's UTA, right? Mm-hmm. But the funny thing is, even though she was a language, like she was a master's language professor, she had a West Texas accent. So all of my reference lines for Negima sounded like this. Line 42, in Kibiat, cum vestim, vis magica. And I would go, really? Really? What is that? But the best part about it is her study of Latin was because of her religious beliefs. So when we got to the words air amplify breasts in the 4th episode, hearing her read that was hysterical because you hear her get through the words. She goes, Ayres implificat mas. Like, the last word, the word breast was like, really? You can hear it in her voice. And unfortunately, we lost her as a reference. But the funny thing is, our Latin professor that we're using for Negima !! The 2nd season, now sounds like a party magician. He's like, Rastil, and I'm like, wow, from one extreme to the other. Yes. Puppy. Yeah. So, but we did have actual references so that the Latin was correct. That was something I think that the studio, the Japanese, were pretty particular about originally. So, your turn to pick, Vic.
Vic.
Or Mike, or somebody. Pick.
In the awesome hair.
This may or may not be Ouran related, but what was all your favorite roles in
Animated in general.
It would be impossible to pick one for me anyway. Early on, you have a favorite, but the more great opportunities you get to play different roles in different shows, you fall in love with new characters, and you don't let go of the old ones. You just kind of end up adding more favorites to your list. So
It's like being an old cat lady.
exactly, precisely.
You just add another cat to the pile.
Yeah. The same way, but like, there's always there's favorites. It was a lot of fun to play Master Roshi on Z for like 10 years. That's just ridiculous fun. And then Ronka was fun. Ritsu and Fruits Basket was fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like standout parts, but even between them, I couldn't pick. There's too much fun involved.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Some you remember more than others just because recording it was very different. Like Ghost Stories for me is hysterical because it was all written on the fly and it's just that funny. But then Beck and Nerima Daikon Brothers was so cool because it was all musical. We were singing all the time. So how many of y'all recognize Vic's voice in Nerima Daikon Brothers? It sounds like Ross Perot. It's awesome.
Oh, the lawyer. Yeah.
Vic plays the shiesty lawyer. It's awesome.
I forgot. Yeah.
I can't believe you sang in that voice. That was the hardest thing about the show. All of our voices were character voices, and we had to sing them. Also, this is Michael Jackson from Nerima Daikon Brothers. Yeah. All of us had to sing all of the time in those weird character voices. My character sounds like Fred Flintstone. Hideki is like, Marco, where are you going? And then it's like, that's fine. But then you're like, I have to sing in that voice?
Don't kick from champagne.
Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, Greg's
right,
favorite.
Greg's right. A lot of times, the longer you spend on a character, like Mike said with Master Roshi, the more time you spend. Most series are like 26 episodes, but then when you get to spend more time on a character, like Full Metal is 51 episodes, and then there's an OVAs, and then there are video games, and things that are going to come down the road. And the more time you spend, like with Sayuki probably.
Yeah, we worked on Sayuki for over a year.
Yeah.
You know?
Vic and I were like, I mean, we recorded that almost nonstop for almost a year, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the Dragon Ball universe is over
You
500.
never finished. Yeah, you never
Exactly.
finished.
Yeah, plus movies, plus games, plus whatever else happens. Yeah.
Exactly.
It ain't more video games than the new more series.
No. That's fine.
Yeah.
Fine with us.
Yeah, games.
Fine with us.
Who's next?
I'll
Mike's
say.
turn.
Very, 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 very
I was
fast.
gonna say she's very excited. She has 2 hands in the air.
Yes. She's surrendering. Sounds good.
Which characters are you drawn to play? Like weird, fun, crazy type?
Which characters
Are we
you
drawn to play? Yeah.
I like playing villains just because I don't necessarily see myself villainous, but that's what makes it so much fun because there's so much, not that there's more acting involved, but it's just so not me that it's so much fun to chew the scenery and just be a mean person, diabolical,
I like villains, but I like playing the wussy, whiny, crybaby kid. I really do, because all of you that know me personally know that's exactly who I am. I never get into arguments with people. I never send my food back. I love playing. I mean, that's what we love about acting. We get to be people we're not.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, why it's so much fun to play villains, too, because I play a 16-year-old serial killer in Gantz, who is probably the most evil thing I've ever met. But I'll never be that way, and I'm not that person. But it's fun to pretend you're, killing bums one day a week.
Yeah.
And I also am drawn to weird characters. I really like weird characters, so.
They're fun.
And punching dead girls.
Yes, punching dead girls. Well, but that was the serial killer.
I think any actor would probably say that they love playing characters against their type.
Yeah.
Because that's more of a challenge, I mean, there are a lot of Hollywood actors that just play they play themselves. They just do their thing in every role. They wear a different set of clothes, but, they're themselves in every movie. And it's really fun for us to get to play characters that are not typical. I mean, Greg and Mike and I all have a certain voice, and naturally, we might be given to a certain type.
Yeah.
But it's always fun to play against that type and do something different and unique, And it's a challenge, and we all have a challenge, It's no fun to just kind of do it in your sleep, dial it in, so to speak. It's much more fun to really focus and try to make it the best it can be.
I think one unique thing about that is while all 3 of us have a character type that we get pigeonholed into,
Cross-dressing.
unlike a lot of actors, I don't think any of us despise that. I just think we appreciate a welcome when we get cast against
absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Because
We all like
I
to
don't
work.
mind. Mike will tell you when he cast me as the Pope in Trinity Blood, which I didn't think you could get. Every time I play a wussy, I don't think you could ever play anybody wimpier than that character. A new and wimpier character appears on the horizon. And Mike, and I've played a wimp before, but Mike's like, you're going to be playing the Pope, and I find that funny for many reasons. But he'll tell you, I was never not excited about it, and we laughed the whole time we were recording it. There's nothing funny about that character except for the fact that he's such a crybaby. But I laughed, and I would say things like, I need to go get in a fight after I leave this place, because I felt like a little girl when I recorded that shit.
We're gonna work out now.
I'm gonna go punch somebody, because he'd hide in a hallway and cry for an entire episode.
Where's everyone?
It's the whole, I hate it when everybody yells and you're always yelling all the time. Yeah.
Loud voices.
Yeah. But I think we all appreciate the kinds of characters that we get cast in regularly, but I'm like you, I appreciate a change every once in a while too.
Yeah.
And for the same reason that Greg just pointed out, how liking to play bad guys because he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Playing something that you're not. That's the exact reason, that's the answer that I give when people say to me, how could you play a character like Edward Elric and he's so agnostic and he hates God and all that and you're supposed to be this Christian guy? Well, it's called acting.
Yes. I'm not a serial killer.
The person I play. That's why it's called acting. So, you
Mike
can play a
Mcfarland
character
doesn't have a